This is Shaun Sport in podcast form.
It's an absolute pleasure to have Kate
love
Loughnan
her.
in the house today. Of course, with Fox Footy, if you're a regular like me or watch all the games, you'll be able to see Kath fronting Matthew Pavlich and Will Schofield at the moment here in Perth. And Pav was saying that the only reason they get food these days is because when Kath came back to WA, she demanded that there should be reasonable food for them to eat.
What a diva, but it's paid off
So
for
hang
everybody.
on, there's no warm welcome.
No,
Hi, Kath.
no,
Thanks
no,
for coming
no,
onto the show.
no, we're gonna
Shawnee
get-
Bax has gone bam.
I wanted to get in before you had a go at me.
No.
Well, do you know what?
Oh.
So we obviously do have a mutual friend of Matthew
Yes.
Pavlich, and we were texting him at the same time yesterday. I was asking for a bit of goss on you. You were asking for the same. And Pav
And I
was
sent him a
texting
doodle
me.
pic. So it's coming at him with all
That's so good.
Yeah.
So my right of reply
Yes,
is,
yes, Kath.
tell me the story about when you rocked up to Pav's house in East Freo during the day once with only a toothbrush in hand.
Oh.
What was that about?
The
Have we heard
toothpaste.
this story before?
Did you hear where he was holding the toothpaste? This is
Never
the story.
No.
No, I don't know this story.
No, go.
Brilliant.
Is it
Go,
radio? Is it
Shaun.
radio? Is it okay? Clean it
To
up.
a reason, well, I'm looking at the time.
Clean it up.
It's a quarter
Clean it
past
up. Use
8.
code
I was
words.
living across the road in Forest Street, and it was near the Fremantle netball court.
Yes.
Yes.
And the Saturday night before, we had a massive belter.
Okay.
And then my partner, who's now my wife, wasn't happy with me at the time.
I see.
That's unusual.
But she let you take your toothbrush with you. That's nice. So
did
she didn't keep everything.
So did she give you a toothbrush and then kick you out?
No, I just thought I'm taking my
Oh,
toothbrush
I'm
and I'm walking
going.
over to Pav's and I'm going to just brush my teeth and get myself together.
Yeah, and
Because
then-
I was in.
I love that your first thought
And
is
then what else?
dental
I think
hygiene.
I ran home from Metros.
You ran home from Metros?
Yeah. I was late. I was
Yeah.
late by all the
And you
hours.
thought running will
Kath.
solve that.
Yeah.
So what happened
and I
then?
think there's a couple of other things that went wrong that night.
So where did you end up sleeping at Pab's?
No, I just walked over in the
No,
morning.
but minty fresh bread.
Yeah.
To
Because
brush your teeth.
I was copying all,
So you just went there, you were
all
looking
guns.
for safety.
I was-
refuge.
and I found it.
It was a safe haven.
Jeez, Pav's looked after me here. He's just told you that I had asked for hot meals at
Yeah,
the
that's
footy.
right. You're
And then
just-
given me an absolute
I've never
gold
spoken
of
about
story.
that. I think I've talked about that once or twice with Pav
Yeah.
before. Remember that time I just walked in the sliding door and just helped myself to the house,
Your
brushed my
toothbrush.
teeth, gave myself a spray.
You do
great
have great
work.
teeth.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right.
Well, we did hit on. I want to know. Let people relate to you in Perth. Like we always love a Perth person being successful. Where did you grow up?
I know where
What
you're
area
going
did you
with
grow
this.
up in?
Nedlands.
Oh, so relatable.
Millionaires
So
Club. Okay.
relatable. What school did you
You
go
could
to?
be on the bad side of Nedlands if there is one.
What school did you go to?
At the back streets of Nedlands. Iona.
Oh, okay,
Presentation
great.
College.
Yes,
And
yes.
uni?
That's not too swanky,
No,
Iona.
that's
Do
not.
they have
It's a
hats?
nice
Do they have
school, but
hats?
it's down
Do they-
to
It's fancy
girls.
Catholic.
Do they have
It's
hats?
fancy
Do
Catholic.
they have hats?
Yes.
Then it's a
Yeah.
fancy school.
And all the cool kids, you flick up your hats.
You know, a few years ago, I'm not sure if you're aware of this, but a lady that I know, her kids were going there, and they said that they had a real hot priest that used to operate in the
Do you
church there
remember,
or something.
Like a young hot priest.
Yeah,
Like Father,
and
oh
she
my
showed
God.
me, and he was unbelievable. This cat.
Really?
Right.
No, never heard that
No,
whisper
not
around
the young
town?
priest. They got a great registrar though. She's my mum.
Oh.
And actually, since I've moved back to Perth, and you start talking to older women and those who have got, kids wanting to get into a high school,
then
and
you're
you
an in.
drop that. Oh,
Yes.
my mum's the registrar,
Yeah.
and gee, don't they suck up to you?
Oh, well, this is
Yeah.
a great move.
Okay,
Yeah.
so 13,
It's a bit of
24,
a
10. Who
power
wants to
move.
get in that
Iona.
school? and
Iona.
What are you going to give her to get in?
Presentation
Yeah.
Were you at Iona during the brown uniform phase? Did they
Oh,
used to wear? Yeah, shocking brown
the
uniform.
tanned.
Yeah.
They called it tanned. But
So what
it
did
was
it look
bad
like?
It wasn't good.
blazer.
It was yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it's
no,
light blue
hideous.
now with some yellow
Yeah.
trim.
It's improved.
So
Yeah.
was it very Mr. Hanky? Was it very
was
like
brown.
just like
You would
poo?
never wear it out in public, but you got a detention if you didn't. But it was, if you're trying to impress the boys,
It was tough.
It was tough.
So when you're getting into your
And
parents,
that was the point of it, I think. Yeah.
so you'd be embarrassed getting out of the car at your mum's Bentley to go to school. Would that be like you run into school, or would your mum
If
land
her mum was driving a Bentley, she would not be the registrar at the school.
or was it the chopper that picked you up?
the chopper.
Chopper in the afternoons, Bentley in the mornings.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's right.
Now, Kath, watching over the years on Fox Footy's been great. You do a bang-up job, and we thought we need to get in you because
Get you in, Shaun.
Get you in. Get you
Hashtag
in.
me
It's a big
too.
difference. It's a big difference, Shaun.
We spoke to Sarah Jones on Monday, and she didn't navigate the different humour that was coming at her. She was very stiff.
So she just doesn't understand you. A great way to cover up your ineptitude. But
What Shaun's saying is you're doing such a good job because naturally you come across just as you are off air than you do on air.
Oh,
so it's
thank
actually
you.
a compliment.
Yeah, I know. This is
Yes.
a very fast-paced, moving show. I'm confused where you're going with that, but thank you. It's a compliment in the end.
Has it been? It's been difficult to live over here now, and having all those opportunities, and the way work was so fast flowing over
it
there.
feels like you're
Yeah.
away from the epicentre a bit.
Yeah, but I think obviously that takes time and credits in the bank to be able to live
Yeah.
where you want to live and still have the
Right.
career.
Yep.
Probably 10 years ago, no way I could be working for Fox Footy and living in
But
Perth.
now they
But
go-
now that
yeah.
I'm old and experienced
But
somewhat,
it's true that
you
people
can
don't
have that
realise.
luxury.
People don't realise in the media if you live in Perth, like
it's really difficult, isn't it?
They will not even entertain it. I did a it was for Survivor. I did a talking panel show during COVID.
Yeah.
So basically, the Survivor would be on, and then I'd do talking tribal afterwards. The only reason I was doing it here in Perth was because Sydney and Melbourne shut down, and at the time, the guy from Channel 10 said to me, "We've never even done this before from Perth."
Yeah.
Because they don't consider it. So that means that you're
Yeah.
very good at your job.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
Likewise, you three surviving breakfast
Oh, we
radio
don't go
for as
anywhere
long
else,
as
though,
you
just
did.
here.
Like honing pigeons.
COVID's helped too, hasn't it?
wasn't
In that
it?
everything's a bit more
It showed
flexible.
what was possible, yeah, for
exactly.
sure.
So there's one silver lining out of that horrible
And
time.
it's cricket season, so you're about to get
Yes.
really busy. So
Yes.
what are you going to be?
We've got the Big
BBL?
Bash starting
Yeah.
next week. It starts Sunday night in Perth, actually.
Yes.
Scorchers kicking
On
it
the
off.
15th,
So,
yeah.
bring it on, Optus Stadium.
Yep.
And obviously got the second test. I'm not working the second test, but I can't wait I'll just be glued to the couch
Are
over
we
the
sure?
weekend.
Are we out of
watching
it
that.
already? Like, are we screwed?
There has been a lot of people saying, oh, geez, we're reacting a little
It's
bit
gonna be
too fierce here, aren't we? I mean, it's just one test loss. But I think those who have followed Test cricket closely, those who've worked in cricket, have seen this coming for some time in that Australia's batting
Yes.
lineup
It's the
does have
changing of the
its
guard
weaknesses.
that's not quite changing, isn't it? Yeah.
And we've always been saved by this amazing bowling quartet of Cummins, Stark, Hazelwood and Lyons. So I think Perth was that moment where a lot of people within cricket said, aha, like, I thought this was coming, this day was coming. Not that it's a good thing, but just we should have
Just the
perhaps
pendulum has
planned
swung
better
the
for
other
the
way.
Well,
future.
their
Yeah.
confidence is going to be shaken. Whoever wins the toss in this is going to be paramount
I
here,
know.
because if you're facing the pink ball late at night on day
Facing
one,
Boomerang.
you're in all
It's
sorts of trouble.
amazing, yeah.
They're going to get a couple of
Oh,
wickets.
okay.
The ball nips around.
good.
It's hard
Yeah.
to see in the light.
The pinky.
The pink
They
ball.
made it pink, so they made it pink. So
It's
it
still
was
easy,
easier.
and it moves more in the moisture in the evening and stuff as well.
Yeah. She knows
Yeah,
her
I know my
cricket.
stuff. Don't worry.
Are you a cricket nuffy?
Yeah, I wouldn't say nuffy, but
I'd say it.
fan.
Yeah.
I do enjoy
You'll
cricket.
watch it in your downtime.
Yeah.
You
I
go to
like.
the Scorchers a lot.
Yeah, I go to the Scorchers, and if
Yeah.
there's Test cricket on, I'll put it on TV and just leave
Yeah.
it on
So-
for the day. I'm not
Yeah.
watching it glued to it, but I'll keep across it.
Can I ask you, your girlfriends, do they watch cricket? Who do you watch cricket with when you're at home glued to the couch?
No, my girlfriends don't really, watch cricket, but they'll ask their boyfriends in some like, where's Kath at the moment? And the boys will be
the
like,
boys
okay,
know.
yeah, right.
she's doing the Strikers game
Right.
in
Yeah,
Adelaide
right.
tonight.
Because now we found out something about you two. Maybe you two can
Yes.
watch cricket together.
So it
Yes.
turns out that Kath and I live on the same street. Which is so wild.
Yeah.
Isn't
One
it?
end's like Bridget, and the other end's like Shameless.
Yeah.
the funny thing was, we started and you said, where did you grow up? I said,
Yeah.
Nedlands. You guys were off me.
Yeah.
And then you said, where are you living now?
Yeah.
I said, East Freo. And
And I
that
went, hang on a
face just
second.
lit up.
I know.
I'm
And
like,
you
what
smiled so
street?
much.
And it's
You
the same
smiled so much
street.
the silver spoon fell out of your mouth.
She's the other side, closer to the river.
Now, Kath-
other side of the hill. On the poor side of the hill.
Kath, while we're all trying to link here, who's your footy team? You've grown up here.
Freo. Freo, man.
Come on, Kath.
So
how
this
did
is
that
a
happen?
little
You grew up in
special
Netherlands.
moment
How
for
did
me
that
that
happen?
this is a little special moment that I'm sitting here with Shawnee Mack.
Is
I
it?
love Shawnee
Can I tell
growing
you?
up.
Can I tell you? Shaun is our special moment.
On a daily basis. You get to host a lot of doctors' functions these days, which is
I know.
fantastic.
We had a great one last week. You weren't at
No.
the AJ Diamond Club event at Freshwater, that sailing
Yacht
club
Club,
there.
yep.
Oh,
Yacht
yeah.
Club. Beautiful spot.
Yeah.
Have you
that's
been
great
banned
spot.
from there as well?
I actually put on a really good performance there last year, unlike the Cottesloe Golf Club,
Yeah.
which I was banned for a number of years.
Really?
I made a comeback
Why?
this year.
What happened?
Very drunk.
Tequila.
Right. Was this a Nova? function?
No,
Oh, that's
Shaun
all
was
right.
hired as the MC.
Yeah, and he swears a lot. He swears around children.
So you were there to work and you got absolutely plastered
Yeah.
and banned.
But you know what? That's not too bad.
banned.
because
Might have come back.
We were once doing an appearance at the front of a toy store, and then
come on.
we're standing there, and this woman had to stop us and say, "Excuse me, Shaun." He goes, "Yes." She goes, "Your fly's down. There's children everywhere, though. Your fly's down, and we can see your penis."
True story.
That's sober.
That actually happened.
That's sober. Now
It was the
add
opening
alcohol
of
into that. see
Toy
what
World in
happens.
Inaloo.
Yeah.
But you know what?
Toys
He's
R Us.
very lovable. I think he can get away with a lot.
I hope so.
I don't know if you can get away with laying your penis on a child's head.
He can't get his working with children certificate, I'll tell you that much.
Sorry, Josie, I'm just going to give us something head sweetheart. Stuff that away.
Well, this has been a bit of a roast on my part. I thought this was going to go the opposite way. Hey, Kath, really appreciate your
Oh my
time
God.
coming in.
Coming
You're
in.
welcome
Great.
It's such
anytime.
a treat. I've
I can
listened
give you a
to you
lift
guys
home.
yeah, shall we? We can go to the dog park together
Yeah,
too.
you don't like
don't
dogs,
dogs.
everybody told me.
We'll certainly get you back when the Scorchers are up and about, as you said, just
Yes.
next week.
Yeah.
And also the footy season's going to be a belter this year. I look forward to catching up again.
Go
Everybody.
Freo.
There you go. That
Thanks
was
for
the
having me.
Princess of Netherlands.
Kate Loughnan, great work.
Shaun Sport in podcast form.
Well, this is going to be a great opportunity to catch up with one of WA's greatest sporting champions. And that is Damian Martin, who used to play for this team. And now has moved to this team.
Which
Different
team
sports.
is he going to come on next? Will it be mine? Hi, Damo.
Good morning. How is everyone?
Marno, we are
Damo.
fantastic. Obviously, we know you started at the Fremantle Dockers. I also know that they were chasing you last year. Tell us what your role is and what's happening here.
I'm loving it so far. I actually started about 4 years ago or 5 years ago when I was still playing. I had the then CEO reach out, and Belly just planted the seed about getting involved with the club, and then COVID hit and all the rules came in, so that got squashed. And then fast forward 4 or 5 years, and then Joe Bridie reached out, and I met with him, and then I met with Simon Garlick, Justin, and then Alex, and every time I met with a different person in a leadership role within the club, I just ticked the boxes of great person, goals aligning, morals and values the same. So it became a no-brainer. I just couldn't get it out of my mind when I'd go home at night. And before you know it, I'm down there trying to kick a footy, run around with the fellas and get to know them as leaders, as people. And I'm not going to lie, I'm in the car right now and my hamstring is tight. If you're a 40-year-old and you think you can keep up with the likes
not
of a Josh
good.
Tracy or an Alex Pierce, don't do it. Don't do it.
Yeah, been there before.
Yeah, we're at the stage now. I was talking about Shaun the other day that he went for a swim, and now it looks like he's got a ball bag on his elbow.
he popped his elbow
and it's like,
from doing nothing.
And he didn't really do anything. We're at the age now when things just happen and there's no excuse. You just have to ride the wave. Hey, Marno, so coming from the Wildcats, you know, you're a very successful club, but when you come into AFL, it's the next level of money, right? Next level of funding. I want to know, when you've walked into the headquarters, Shaun used to go there and he used to talk to us about the Yogo fridge. There was a Yogo fridge. You could go and you open
That's
it up.
back in my day.
Yeah, and then basically you take whatever Yogo you wanted. What's in your interpretation of what you've seen now at the headquarters, what's your Yogo fridge? What's the thing that you're going, wow, this is amazing?
Look, to be honest, the infrastructure, there's plenty of wow factors. I'm still discovering new rooms, to be completely honest. But you know what it is? I've always had an inquisitive mind, and you get your little bands that you tap against a little door and it lets you in. There's a few rooms I can't get into.
Oh, really?
And so now I'm determined more than ever within the club to be able to discover what's behind these sacred rooms that I don't have access to.
So you're not
yes,
access all areas yet.
There's
No,
something
it's the
sitting
war
on
room.
your-
Remember, we did speak to Wolsey, David
Yeah.
Wolsey called it the war room, where they've got all the
But
players'
thing
names
is-
off the board.
So you don't have a lanyard, you've got like a rubber band, like a silicon
Yeah,
band
yeah,
thing?
and then and it just lets
I
you
don't
in.
know why now I need it. Like, we're like, oh, so
Actually, we should have
like
them here.
lanyards on a string like caveman. No, I want that. Okay, that's exciting.
Marta, you were talking about your values aligning, but what are you going to be doing? What is
Yes,
your role at the Fremantle
day-to-day.
Football Club?
Yeah, it's working with the leadership group, the emerging leaders and players who aren't necessarily aligned with either group, or I think, do have leadership qualities, whether it's they're verbal leaders or whether they lead by example, or whether there's potentially something in them that they don't see in themselves that hopefully between all the coaches, their teammates and myself, we can try and bring to the surface. And that's one of the things about leadership is a lot of people have contagious behaviours, which makes you a leader in some ways, but are they positive ones? Is it done in the right way? and how can we bring to the surface the guys who are there to do, what everyone's wanting to achieve, and that's that elusive premiership. And there's a lot of guys with complete buy-in, and I've been blown away. I'm not just saying this because I'm obviously employed with them right now, but the level of fitness they came back with has blown my mind. Now, I've got nothing to compare it to because this is the first footy club I've ever worked with, but it's amazing the disciplines these guys have obviously had in the off-season to stick to their running programs to come back in the shape that they are, because I know that in a few off-seasons I had with the Wildcats, the boys would joke that my head came back looking more like a square. I tended to enjoy myself a little after a few surgeries in the off-season, but it's safe to say there's no one that's come back in that type of shape.
You're going to get asked this question quite a lot, so what Shaun just asked you, and I just want to save you some time. You don't need all those words what you just said then. You're the sorting hat from Gryffindor. You're the sorting hat from... So basically, you look at people from Harry Potter. You look at people and then you sort them and then you put them into different things. You're the sorting hat. There you go. Done.
Well, does Alex Pearce look a little like Hermione Granger? Like when
his hair's out and flowing, yes, he does.
Was he on TV showing his scar?
Yeah. He's on his scar the other day.
How's he going?
His arm's going okay,
yeah.
Alex Pearce, honestly, I can't speak high enough about the bloke. He's got an aura about him. He's a natural leader. But I'm not sure if you tuned into the time trials, to see the young fella, Kari, just go and smash the first one. They do 3 1Ks. Alex Pearce led by example in all 3. And then in the third, he actually won it. He's just an incredible human. He's a great leader of the club already. And I think that's going to go to another level.
Marto, that's great, and obviously you're doing great things at the Dockers. But what was it like to be courtside on Sunday afternoon to watch Bryce Cotton go to town? He was on a tear. That was extraordinary.
Because he didn't do that until after you joined, just saying.
I was looking for other play. We were busy winning championships, not worried about individual records.
Yeah.
No, I'm trying not to be as biased. I've had a bit of feedback that people tend to think I'm going for the Wildcats when I'm in commentary, so I'm trying to make an effort to be a bit more impartial. There were 2 moments in particular. I think when he went to 50 and then when he broke, James Crawford's record of 57, so when he got to 59, like massive fist pumps as if we just won the championship. I just could not control myself. It was amazing. And I mean this when I say it. It was an unselfish 59. He actually could have got way more, but he was so concerned about winning that he didn't have the space in the floor and letting other guys get easy layups. When he got double-teamed, even though for me it was still a good look for him, he passed it off to get the easy layup. It was amazing, but, the best individual performance I've ever witnessed, and to be there calling it live courtside, a magical moment, and then to get on the court right after it with, Rage, his wife and daughter. It was just, wonderful to be able to spend a bit of time with a former teammate.
What a freak.
And just seeing the emotion, not only of him, but he's the best ever.
What did he do that night? Would he have just gone home? Like, that's
you got to celebrate the Chinese, don't you?
How do you come down with that?
What did you do?
No, what he did was he actually got home, and waiting for him on his doorstep was a wristband of Freo Footy Club with an all-access pass.
He knows what's behind those doors, Marto.
Yeah, it was an incredible performance, Marto. I've been critical of the Wildcats' defence this year, and being sitting in the commentary box. I mean, you're 6-time Defensive Player of the Year. You won 6 titles. Your team and the culture they had at the Wildcats, it was defence that was probably the thing that delivered you title after title. How are they going to be able to get at the season that they want with the probably lack of defence that they're playing?
Well, I think they've decided, everyone keeps talking about the changing of the bat and the changing of the guard. That's totally fine, and you're completely allowed to do that when there's so many personnel changes with coaches through to players. They've gone out there and recruited incredible offensive talent who are capable of knuckling down and playing great patches of defence when it matters. So are they going to be similar to, say, a Melbourne United who can win the game through their defensive pressure over 40 minutes? Probably not. But are they going to be good enough to put scoreboard pressure on by just putting the ball constantly through the ring with their offensive skill? Absolutely. And then in key moments, can they get 2? Can they get 3? Can they get 4 consecutive stops? I do believe they can, and that's where they'll be able to have a point of different. So, yes, things have changed, but, you know, when you've got someone like a Bryce Cotton on the floor, you're always a chance of winning a championship.
Give him the ball.
And then when you've got complete wide, you just give him the ball. Let's keep it simple.
It's interesting, though, for you, like, commentating, because you come from what would have been the most successful Wildcats team ever?
Of course,
yeah, for sure.
The most successful Wildcats team ever. So it would be hard for you when you're commentating to not go, back in my day. You know what I mean? It was so hard, you know?
sure.
Because, that's a huge thing to follow, you know? The success of the
Well,
Wildcats.
I find myself in commentary looking at someone like a Benny Henshaw, who I think is good enough to be in the NBA next year. And then every time you go to say back in my day, I look at him going, hang on, I'm more than double his age. And if I talk about back in my day, he would snap my ankles if I tried guarding him one-on-one right now. So what do they say? The longer you retire, the better you were. Don't you worry, I'm embellishing stories, but I also try and respect the current group of players.
Well, Marto, we look forward to watching you commentate on all the games that the Wildcats are playing, and more importantly from my end. Keep up the good work down at Fremantle. We're looking forward to some great leadership down there and hopefully a premiership under your tutelage.
Thanks, all. Looking forward to working with the Kalgoorlie Boulder Giants next season.
Oh! Wow! You know what?
I mean, that would be hitting the highs, yeah.
I remember being in Kalgoorlie and one of them walking past, I was like, that's a Giant.
Yeah, I think Geraldton were the Buccaneers, were they?
Yeah.
The Bucks.
Go the Goldfields Giants.
Yeah, they were big back then.
Good on you, Marto. Thanks, mate.
Thanks, everyone.
Bye, buddy. Bye.
Shaun Sport is a Nova podcast. For more great comedy shows like this, head to novapodcast.com.au.